This conference will now be recorded.
Kathy's in on this one as well. I mean, I got a few, everything's gonna be really short, it's just I got a lot of little things. The advertiser partners, we went through this with the wages.
Yeah.
So I earn that $20 to $24 an hour. And I got a seasonal employee that makes $17 an hour.
Yeah.
That's not. That would apply for me.
I mean,
Really
if you
apply for
guys
him,
want to
like,
go
so
first, I mean, I got.
I can
my own
quit and
opinion.
apply elsewhere, and make more, so I think that at minimum his rate should be up to at least 20, if not more, being a return employee for.
Remind me what the job is again?
It's mowing, weed
Cemetery.
digging, he flags for us in the summer, anything he asks him to do, he does, and we steal him out of the cemetery to come work with us, because we're short-handed.
Yeah.
And what are all of our, I guess, do we have to look at all of our seasonals?
That was my only concern is now you're gonna start the dominoes rolling.
Right, because like all of our youth commissions, we have to take care of, the kids don't get paid.
Well, I guess I'll start because I give the same speech all the time. This is a time for all of us when we watch Stewart's, McDonald's, everywhere around us exceeding even what we're talking about here today. And if we're gonna run government and have an adequate workforce and capable and retain people, it's what we're gonna have to do. Now, I know this is a domino effect, but if $20 is the magical thing for this summer, I feel it's imperative we do it. But when we get into budget session, Rick was absolutely right, his email to us that said we have to develop a more firm system moving forward. We didn't anticipate what was gonna happen in the payroll market in this last year and a half or 2 years. But if we don't react, we're gonna lose. There's just no question about it. We are so fortunate to have lifeguards, we're struggling now to keep Park District intact. So a fair wage to make a living is, for me, it's a given. Maybe some people will be, I don't know, put out of sorts by this movement, but I say it's paramount to our survival, that's my opinion.
Kathy, do you have a number?
Well.
I only ask that because you're always prepared.
Oh, what number do you want? So what's
Like,
the question?
how many would it affect?
To put everybody up to 20?
Right. I mean,
Yeah, but then you can't just leave, you can't.
right, because then
Then
you
you
got,
gotta-
Okay, so here's the
Right.
thing.
right,
If you're gonna pay somebody who runs equipment,
right,
tractor, a mower, chainsaw maybe if necessary, $20 an hour, and that's the only person they're responsible for is themselves and their one coworker that they're working with. And then you have lifeguards over there at the beach who are watching everybody's kid under the sun, responsible for life or death situations. Are you gonna also only pay them $20 an hour? Then you got all the youth counselors, who none of them, except I think one, makes $20 an hour. You're gonna have all of those individuals. Now, the majority of these are college and high school kids.
I feel we can leave.
But they're in
youth program
responsible
intact.
positions. They're in responsible positions.
what are the lifeguards now?
Well, I mean, it's
Are
just like
lifeguards-
you advertise 20 to 24, and maybe I'm wrong at seeing this. What if he had put the cemetery and went apply for the book?
Right.
You're gonna pay him $20 an hour.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
It's
So-
fair.
I'm not saying don't pay them
No,
20, I'm just saying if you
think
pay them 20, you
The
gotta think about
majority.
the youth
You're gonna
counselor
go to
kids,
high school
the
to
lifeguards.
do the mowing.
I don't know.
because they are going to push back.
You're not talking sidewalks either.
So, all right, I'm just saying
Yeah.
Well, the one thing, we got no applicants, so that's $20 an hour, isn't it?
well, you've got a dozen youth counselor kids, all of whom are under 20. You've got all but one Janine gets paid 23. All the other lifeguards are under 20. If you're gonna give Bowen 20, you gotta give them 20. They're in responsible positions. They
But
have to be.
I agree with you, but they're high schoolers, like, it's meant to be sometimes
But
that's what I'm saying,
they
directed.
pay for their own CPR classes,
But we
which
couldn't
are not
go-
cheap.
I don't know why we couldn't pay for that. But maybe this is something that I'm looking at Rick because he really wants to delve into it. That is like, like a work session with you and maybe someone else. I don't know who to volunteer here, Jason.
Well,
But because you really need to dive into the
Sure, yeah.
details, like in 20, and even if we had 2 hours, we're not gonna solve this.
Right.
And if we need to have a policy, we just can't keep reacting to things and then going, oh shit, we have to bump everyone else.
is
up.
Jason and Dick our
I feel
finance?
they should have advertised at 20 when he sees the advertisement, and it's like he hasn't even received his first paycheck yet, and he's like, can I quit here and go there? How do you answer that question?
The answer
I
is
don't want you
yes.
to, but
You can apply.
Right.
So you didn't gain anything. It's
Yeah,
like-
but you ruined morale.
Yeah, and that's see, this is what's gonna be the issue though, is that all these lifeguards and youth counselor kids are gonna come back saying, I can go work at Stewart's or wherever else and make more than I'm making here, watching people's kids.
So do we want a month to meet before we react?
I agree with Emily. I think it should be sort of a side.
A work
Shouldn't
session,
be-
yeah.
But in the meantime, we have to have a decision from Mark, because he's already on the payroll.
And he's a return employee that's been, I mean, I don't know how many years he's been with the town. but-
We hired him in
What about-
2017.
What about Butch's seasonals that are returns? Are they at least at 20?
No.
The only
There's a
one
few.
Craigwood and
Do you have any returns?
They're
Craigwood's all
all,
returns
Seven.
for a number of years.
We had 7 of them we okayed.
the only
April's
staff,
meeting.
the only seasonal staff that we have regularly that are hired at over 20 are the black flag guys. They're all coming, they've all been,
Well, I don't know, maybe we should reevaluate that. Get outside.
Well, we're gonna need to go across the
no comment.
Pay them
Prevailing
next
winds.
time.
But yeah, so we have Mark in for 1750.
All right, now I can't let this go on for long. We got a lot to cover here.
Yes.
We just need to make a decision. for
So-
him.
Tell me about the one person. Are you comfortable with that yearly, or do you want it to wait for a month? I'm comfortable either way.
I don't want to hold up the process I gave in late.
No, but you're a quick learner. Yeah.
But I agree with Emily, is that like, it seems like each year, like right before things start, we kind of just like, oh, we need to up the salaries to be competitive.
What if we can meet this week, like 2 of you can meet this week and try to figure it
Dick
out?
won't be back for another, he's finance, unless you want to fill in for that. Or I can, or Rick,
I can meet tomorrow morning.
but Rick
Doing
is
those
busy
days.
from 5 o'clock in the morning till noon.
But it's like,
And then I'm gone tomorrow through Monday.
Yeah,
I just don't want to say yes to one employee when we haven't considered, which is, am I missing seasonals? You don't have other seasonals.
No, that's the only one.
So it's only Butch.
yep. And upon, maybe out of the meetings, you decide retroactive or not. That'll be up to that meeting.
okay,
Can you feel comfortable, of course you feel comfortable with speaking with Mark
Oh, yeah.
and just telling him this is a bigger fish than
Yeah,
what our 12-pound test can
yeah.
handle.
No, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, the question, like I say, was posed to me was, you gotta understand where he came from.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
I mean, that's logical. I mean, if you don't give
it
him
is.
20,
And to
you'll have a
Bush's,
$20 employee next week.
and to Bush's, you don't even have to.
Guys, she said I'm gonna apply to be teacher.
So I think one thing that needs to be considered is that the original job application
Was that?
request was for a full-time year-round employee that they wanted to pay that range.
Right, right.
And then they both backed out, and Emily came to me a couple weeks ago and said, well, we still need to hire somebody, so let's advertise for a seasonal, maybe we'll get more
Right.
books. And that's when we put that one out for that same wage range, but which maybe
Maybe it was.
we shouldn't have done, but it's, too late to pull it back now, but.
Like,
That's
didn't do anything.
No.
Right. So,
And generally, a seasonal employee or one that's not drawing benefits usually is a higher, I mean, I'm not gonna go there, but I'm just saying, you have that flexibility to pay them a hair more because you're not paying them that benefit.
Ours was 10 to 15%.
All right, so.
Okay, so I'll work on a meeting for next week. We'll figure out who.
It's more, yeah, it's who and then what the budget adjustment is.
Right. And we'll look across the board, so there's a figure.
And maybe there's a policy that comes out of it.
Right, well, certainly, that conversation should come before budget time, that's for sure. Okay,
Good, we'll fly right through the rest of this stuff here.
In comparison, or?
Oh, yeah. No, this is quick. It really just giving you an update. I mean, I finally got those two little fender benders we had over at the airport. Finally got pricing on siding. The one building was hard to track down because that siding was last used in 2011. With Doug Bauer's help, I did track down a vendor to fix all the damage over there, $1,600, which is gonna come out of grounds maintenance repair when we get at the airport.
right,
I'm sure you wanna move forward and fix what's
no question.
pretty simple there. There will be two separate vendors. Like I said, the one that this one is obsolete. I'm getting ready to list that one truck. We got the two for sale. I'm gonna try one. I was talking with Dick's idea, try one now to see if they sell. A lot of village budgets not been until August, moving into fall, where they're not sure whether they're gonna have a plow truck. He thought maybe try to sell one now, see how it goes. Wait for the second truck, maybe a little bit later in the fall,
Yeah,
maybe get a bit more for it. The only thing I need from y'all is permission to come up with a dead set low price. I have to put in a reserve price on this auction site. If the bid doesn't get to the reserve, one of the formalities that you have to do is
minimum,
you have to counter offer back. You have to throw them another price lower than your reserve. So I guess setting a reserve price is, there's a fine line between what you want and what you're willing to accept.
okay.
It's gonna be like one of those things, hey, I got an offer, can you accept? And I have to have the power to say yes, no, but I have to counter offer.
So would that be in the form of us saying you got $15,000 to play with, $25,000?
Not even, it could be $5,000 difference.
Right,
Is there a legal restriction on the
No.
entire surplus?
No, I mean, and there's absolutely no monetary involvement until the sale's made. We're not responsible for anything, but the only responsibility I have is to counter offer.
Regarding the parameters.
Yes, yeah, and that's it. I have to be able to come up with a counter offer with your prior approval.
do you have any experience knowing what we should make that for you?
I don't have firm experience. I've done a little research on what trucks are selling for. I had two lowball offers on both trucks from a truck dealership, $20,000 and $25,000 respectively, according to the years, which I think is a little low. They're gonna flip the truck. They're gonna put work into it and whatnot. I would be comfortable with $50,000 reserve price. In worst case,
Right.
saying counter back at 5,000 less at $45,000.
Yeah, because there's two ways to look at it. The truck has served us well, and this gives us working capital. And we could be good to another municipality.
Right, you never know.
Yeah,
You might capitalize on someone's misfortune, is what may happen, a garage fire,
right,
God forbid, or
yeah,
somebody needs plow equipment right before winter and you got two trucks available.
okay,
It's somewhat of a win-win,
Well, yeah, we were close in this past year, but
$45,000.
you can't sell a truck that you're still using, it was a big thing.
Kathy, how do you look at this process?
Like, when can you sell them?
Should Ken send you a request for that, so you have something in your files for like the next audit?
Well, I think what he needs is the board's permission.
Right, yeah,
And then as the highway superintendent, once he has the board's permission, you put the offer out, but then you go to whatever,
Right.
as long as it's documented in the minutes,
So we-
there's no.
That
that's
you're
really
allowing
all
me
that-
to move
yeah.
forward with the sale, that's, you're giving me
Yeah.
permission to.
Is there one that's less desirable than the other?
Yeah, I mean, one's a year older, I mean, it has a little more surface on the body, but that's it, I mean, they're both well maintained.
Did you put that one up first?
Yes.
Rick, do you want to take care of that under, because I already drafted the agenda, do you want to take care of it under committee reports?
Sure.
And we'll just do a motion out of it?
So you're looking at 50 as a reserve
Reserve.
with the approval to go to 45
Yes,
as a counter offer.
if you get a little ball, the final bid doesn't quite get there, you got a counter offer.
Can we do 50,000 one? and
Sure.
then as a reserve,
50,000?
go to 50,000?
I was thinking that too. It's like being on the Price is Right. So, but those dollar figures, are they higher than what you would have gotten as a trade-in on those?
No, because the offers that I got were from Charlie Boys, or we just got our truck, so that's what they would be willing to take those trucks in,
50?
20 and 25.
Oh, that's, so you
That
would
is
be
from a
selling
truck
them for more
For
than the
more than,
traded value,
yes, more than
okay.
traded value, yes.
Good.
Good. So yes, that's a yes, right?
Yep.
What are the years on those?
15 and a 16.
Okay.
Kathy's aware of this next one. Last year, we had money budgeted for lawnmower, which was either they were like price gouging and everything, just supply and demand, everything was way too high. Didn't end up buying one. I kind of would like to move forward with that purchase this year, which they are available now. Prices come down a little bit. So I guess I'm asking if I can have that money back. That wasn't.
It would have to
rolled
be a
over from last
budget
year
amendment
this
because we
year.
didn't put it in this year's budget.
Zero turn?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yep.
What brand do you want to go with?
probably a Ferris this year.
Yeah. Well, I can vouch for them.
Apple to apple, same cutting width. They're almost the same price for where I'm at.
Any need to buy it local for service, or we work on all our own?
This will actually come, Taylor Rental has a good price on Ferris mowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're all out of Utica anyway.
So I would like to move forward with that,
No?
that mower, and he needs a backpack blower. But you can all be under $7,000, I can get the mower and the backpack blower.
Okay.
And this is all for the cemetery?
Yes,
And
expensively, so.
listen, like, should you get bumper guards for it?
No, I'll make it any wider.
Does the blade go low enough? Take up
Yeah,
the topsoil?
you can go down an inch.
Oh, that's a garden tractor.
Oh, Teller? Yeah, no, maybe. Maybe. Shopping for, going back to trucks again, we have been on a rotation. I know we're gonna be looking for another truck for the next coming year. I'd like to get you see how long the trucks took to get here this last time. I'd like to start the process.
For 2025?
Probably, yeah, by the time you get done now and then for the budget for 24 to buy for, right?
We fell behind on our schedule by
Yeah.
almost 3 years.
Right now it's at, by the time we get the next truck, it would be pushing 8 years instead
Yeah.
of 6.
So you sell those two surplus and you put that money away to offset the cost of a new one?
Yep. So you want to start looking?
I do. See if we can get locked in or
Yeah.
something. Now the fun part. Two electric motors that went on their fritz this past weekend. One at the T hangar number 9. Exact replacement motor, electric motor, $3,509.
That's for the hangar door?
That's just electric motor to open the hangar door.
Hey, listen, we got a vacant one coming up. Still
No kidding, right?
Well, we gotta do something quick for the tenant's sake,
Yeah.
because his plane is inside and the motor will not open the door.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I mean, you got no choice.
we're gonna have to either buy this one. I put out feelers for other motors to see if they can match this up, but they're so unique where you can read the serial number off the motor. And the company goes, there's a tag on the door, and that tag matches to the motor. So I actually have a serial number to the door that matches with the motor.
That's a good system.
Yeah, until you can't get the motor,
Right.
and you pay $3,500.
Is that one of the older T hangars?
Yes, it's the first building.
Do you have to get a new door, or is it just the motor matches the door?
Just a motor, yeah. Same thing, electric motor in one of the cardboard balers in the recycling center burned out over the weekend. I do not have pricing. A preliminary price looks like $1,300 for a motor. This baler is the model of 1990.
Right.
That's the one that we budgeted $20,000 a
Yes.
year for several
So,
years,
I'm
never
gonna-
used.
I'm gonna look at a
Out of the
motor.
budget.
Or maybe I'm gonna get a price on a baler as well and just to see where we come in. I don't know how much prices increased over the course of the year, but
The last time we fixed that baler, we put 1,800 into it.
something to look at, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
It's probably time to get rid of.
What do you think a new one is, 8 or 9?
No, they're up there, I would guess more like
15.
16, 17.
Okay.
Probably.
For a used one or new?
New.
New. But you want to
That's
just
a guess.
replace the
That's a
motor?
total guess.
Is the baler still good?
It's just a big chunk of steel with a
Yeah.
hydraulic
Just
cylinder.
put a
I mean,
motor.
I'm
Buy a freaking
thrifty with
motor.
my money, and I think I could put a motor on it and make it run for a while.
Yeah.
Buy a motor.
And we can do the work ourselves. We don't need anybody to come do it. Last one, and I got your here. This is a happy story here. We had all that stone, Derek knows this one, that Luck Brothers had on our property for a while now. And I told him, like, you really gotta get rid of the stone, and it just kind of worked out. The guy that I buy my winter sand from calls me and said, you got a stone pile up there? And I said, yeah, I want to look at it. So I go show him the stone pile. Yeah, I'm gonna buy this from Luck Brothers. And I said, where are you hauling it to? He goes, back to my sand pit. I'm like, good. He's gonna haul our sand out here. I'll pay identical to what is state contract price at Trudeau's at $6.50 a ton. But I won't have we get 6 gallons per mile in these trucks.
Yeah.
Back and forth the tires and your time of hauling sand for a month. Like I said, whatever you haul in, you haul back. If I'm short, I'll finish hauling towards the fall, but he's gonna get started relatively soon and delivering our sand to us really at the
Listen,
same price.
if you have to, get into your piles and keep his stone pile big until you got enough sand.
Just want bricks.
It is.
Bust that up, but I mean, that's just one of those good things that worked out well. I said, while you're there, just haul our sand up, pay a hair more.
And nice of them to do.
And they
it.
got a scale now, instead of paying by the yard, they actually have a scale, so it's gonna be actually, you'll know the exact weight instead of yardage.
Sure.
I don't know, I like the yardage because sometimes you pay for water weight when you're paying by the ton.
But if I remember, he's been good to us for years.
He's been very good, so
Yeah.
I think, one hand will wash the other.
That's great news. I already went over with you with stuff. I'd like everybody to know, I call them the little things you do for us outside of highway. Tomorrow he's putting in the pad for the warming shed. Yeah. All the work he did at pickleball around the beach volleyball courts, it looks great. I think I told you, Butch worked it out with Jim Gerard, that instead of sod, we're gonna hydro seed it.
Oh, good.
Because you spread that black dirt, it's fine. Anyway, June 5th, we've got a company coming to look at resurfacing those pickleball courts. But I didn't want you getting out of here with a sincere thanks for all you do for us.
Well, you're welcome.
No,
I thought you were gonna add something else to the list.
no. But the important part is, the end of this story with where's Larry rests on you.
All right.
It's your decision. We talked about Church Street. I don't know what will become of that culvert between the two properties. Maybe I'll go look at the sinkhole, but I believe it's groundwater that I have no control
Oh, for sure.
over. And 121 Balsam, that's on the other side of the
It
street.
is, yeah.
I know where it is. It's between those two cottages.
Oh, we're not talking about 120, or I was thinking 120 earlier. I'm like, you just jumped topics, so you're
Oh,
trying to
no.
be second.
Different than 20.
Yes.
You gotta fill me in on that.
She showed me where the sinkhole was. Like I said, I've never seen it before, so I can't verify whether it's been like that or is actually sinking, but it almost looks like they had, you'd have to see it. It's like a perfect, it's not just a round hole. It seemed like there was something that was there because there's an outline to something.
Like a cistern, some kind of,
It could be.
right.
Maybe it was a part of the cottage or a storage shed or something, but it's kind of square shaped.
Yeah. Okay,
All right.
thanks, brother.
Thanks, Ken.
Yes. You're welcome.
Now, let's see. Haley? Come on up.
But I got a more detailed update on the CDBG funds, so I figured I would share. So right now they're looking at 7 total rehabs. There are 2 under contract right now, begun by the end of the summer. A third, they're doing the rehab closing pre-construction meeting on the 7th. So they're hoping that one will be done by late summer, early fall. They've completed some emergency bracing for a foundation at one location, and then they're putting the rest of that rehab out to bid soon. Yeah, I do have some more information on the locations, but I don't know. And that one to be done by the fall as well, they're hoping. And they have one more candidate in Saranac Lake, like in the North Elba portion of it, that they're currently working on the asbestos testing that they're gonna put out to bid. And they have one mobile home replacement that's pretty much ready to go. And once the asbestos testing is done, that one will go out to bid and hopefully be done by the fall too. So that's a total of 7, if I counted that correctly.
There was 7.
Okay,
7 plus the mobile home?
6 plus the mobile.
Okay.
So I guess the big problem they've been running into is that HCR, there's something there, OCR, HCR, implemented like new asbestos testing requirements like partway through our grant application, which require like special training and special processes that nobody wants to do. So they keep reaching out to I think it was, he said 16 contractors, and one has been responding to all of their bids because nobody wants to do it.
So just to remind me, it was 500,000.
Yes.
And with these 7 places, do you know what that represents in awards?
He doesn't know yet. I
Okay.
asked him that. He said he'll have a better idea later because our funds are up in December.
Okay,
And I've asked him if we would use all.
They're
the
not
funds
up
by
to-
then.
we have to have them allocated, but they don't have to be spent by December.
Right, I think so. Yeah, I want to double check, but he didn't seem too concerned. He did say that he's not entirely sure just because of those complications. Like I
Okay.
said, if we'll use all the funds by then, but he didn't seem overly concerned, so I'm gonna ask him to clarify, but
And I don't have to sign for anything else?
not yet, unless you want to do it again.
How many times have I signed for this stuff?
I don't know.
All right. But that's good news.
Yeah.
7 places. They can get the mobile home?
Yeah, they're all set. It was approved by the state. We had to apply for that thing, but we got some extra funding from HAPAC and we just combined it with a little bit of our funding.
Yeah, so this person's getting a grant because it's mobile home replacement.
They can only do replacements.
Yeah, but no one is fixing a mobile home.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
That's what New York State says.
Yeah.
We're not fixing a mobile home, so it's a replacement.
Good. Well, that's good news.
Yeah. And then the only other thing that I can think of was the comprehensive plan. Hopefully the committee will select somebody. I am leaving for a week, but after we get back from meeting, we'll have somebody chosen by then. We can finish that up. We met with one of the vendors today. They had some questions, committee had some questions, and we're meeting with the second, of the two.
Have you talked to Kathy about we gotta pay for it before we get reimbursed?
Yes, it's a reimbursement grant.
Which one's this?
This is the comprehensive
The
plan.
comprehensive plan where we were awarded 92 or 98?
98.
Okay.
98,000,
Right.
just to kind of warn you.
Is the village involved in that too?
The village and the town both put up 15,000.
Okay.
But they're not involved in the grant.
Not involved in the grant.
Okay.
Because as I keep asking for money, I like her to at least be aware.
Did we plant that money tree yet?
Yeah, it has not. but-
The one that died out front.
I thought we were waiting for the bridge to be done.
I over fertilized it. Yeah. Good deal.
Those are my big things. I don't know if there's anything else.
We're open to just good news.
All right.
Yeah,
Have a good one.
thanks, Dana.
Thank you.
Let's see. I think,
Oh, Darcy was on there.
yeah, but I'm guessing because she's not here, nothing rushing. If she comes back on, I'll ask her, but Sharice, why don't you?
Well, actually, Todd
Oh, I'm
got
sorry.
confused and thought the meeting was tomorrow, even though the agenda says Wednesday, May 31st, so he's gone.
That's all right, and
But
I
I-
understand from the last month that you guys.
I have some notes to relay to you guys.
All right,
So I can
sure,
go
sure.
ahead. He just was gonna update you on what went down with grievance days, which were 2 days we had to have. We did 216 stipulations, which is part of the informal review process prior to the grievance process. So our office alone reduced 216 assessments through the stipulations. There were 35 complaints without appointments. These are the official complaints that were heard on grievance day, and 54 complaints with appointments. And out of those complaints, we're still getting to the bottom of how many were approved, how many changed, how many didn't change.
Sorry for my ignorance, but what's appointment with and without?
So you can, there's a form that has
Right.
to be filled out for the grievance board. And you can either appear before the Board of Assessment Review and plead your case directly to them, or you can let the form stand for itself.
Thank you.
So 35 people allowed the form to stand for themselves, and then the other 54 spoke and addressed the board. So in my 5 years of being here, this is way more than we've ever done before.
Can I ask on the side, we got into a situation where Ron chose to represent his clients in this
Yeah.
assessment review. Did other attorneys come with their clients, or was it done just on a client-to-board relationship?
There were many that was just the attorneys representing the clients that went before the board.
Okay,
Like with Ron,
yeah,
we saw that with Jamie Maswick, Greg Denon.
okay.
They represented multiple clients.
Yes, yes. I don't recall one person that came as a taxpayer with their attorney.
Okay,
It's generally the
Either
attorney
way.
is representing them completely.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm sure this was the busiest year we've had in many years.
total, I mean, for sure, since I've been here, I'm not sure what 2018 was like, because that was,
Right,
the first reval for 10 years.
right.
So I think that was a pretty hairy time too, but this was a lot of,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I saw the boxes you dealt with, so I had a little perception of
Yeah.
how many files.
We keep getting asked about the homestead exemption, and you all are somewhat aware of what's going on there. That basically, nothing is going on just yet. We're getting through the grievance stuff. Then Todd wants to set up a meeting with the board, with the county director, maybe even the New York State real property guy.
Deb, not that I'm looking for an opinion, but I read it until I was sick of reading, because you know how lengthy that thing
Yeah.
is. I don't see how it's even possible.
I think that is Todd's opinion, that it's just not a feasible approach for the town.
It's not the approach that people want. That's what,
Right,
it doesn't do what people want.
Yeah,
Or what people
exactly.
think that it.
Or they think it's gonna do. It's different than like the homestead
And it's a
in
passive.
Florida.
Yeah. But I think it helps,
Sorry, go ahead.
this is what you're gonna say, I think, that it helps to have that conversation. You have
Yeah.
to publicly
Yeah.
have that conversation.
Right. Everybody just needs to learn a little bit more about it.
Yeah.
I tried plugging in numbers to make the equation work, and it puts you in a vicious circle.
Yeah.
And even once you think you have the equation, you have to take that forgiveness, if you will, that amount, and pass it on. It's not lost, it's not lost revenue. Somebody's picking it up.
Yeah.
That was my first question was, well, where does the burden shift? Like, you can't just,
Yeah.
everything's gotta shift somewhere.
Yeah.
We just found out that the New York State is changing the way we evaluate income for the senior citizens exemptions. And we don't know what kind of impact that will have on those individuals. In the past, we have had to add up individual line items off of the tax return. Now, New York State is changing it to be based on adjusted gross income. But they're still figuring out what has to be added back in, what has to be subtracted. They're telling us it will be fall before they have a handle on how this is gonna shake out.
How will that affect the frustration level for seniors?
It really just depends on if it's in their benefit or not, and I can't imagine it will be in their benefit. That's what worries me. And, we've mentioned to the board in the past, last year, well, for this year's roll, the limit went up to the $37,400 limit. Actually, for 22 and 23, we've been at the same level. You have the ability to go up to 50,000 as an income level, which is maybe something for another discussion for another day, obviously.
But just by the fact that you just said they may go to adjusted gross income, suggests that it could actually be lowered.
That is correct. But until we see, because they're already talking about that, certain types of investment income has to be added back in separately.
Right.
And,
Okay.
until we know the formula for sure, it's hard to really pinpoint how it's going to affect these folks. And
Your
their
definition-
exemptions are more important than ever right now.
Your definition of seniors, what is
65 and older.
65? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm okay in my $16 an hour job.
We don't pay you that much.
That's what.
Can I become seasonal?
We're already at the highest limits we can do for veterans exemptions.
Yep.
But we've got to deal with the firefighters exemption stuff that's just come down the pipe.
I think we should use a couple months this summer
Yeah.
to discuss it.
Yeah.
And then get you guys' reaction to what the,
What I was planning to do, once we have a breather after this stuff, is to put everything together for you. And I can even draft a preliminary law or something like that, so that you know exactly what you're looking at.
good.
But there's got to be, and I don't know yet how this works because I really haven't studied it well enough, but, people come and go from the fire department. So there has to be a clear process about how we stay informed of people that are active members.
Right.
No,
You
there's
know?
a tax exemption as well. I know.
This
I'm on the volunteer ambulance.
this will be actually in addition to that.
So, but it has to be proved annually. So I have to get a letter from the president of the ambulance.
Well, I've
attached
asked
to
for
it.
that for a long time, and then there's the village component too, and I beat my head against the wall.
Well, it's a lot of work for fire chiefs and head of first responders.
Yeah. So we'll have to work through that with them, I think, help them figure out a way to maintain an active.
Naturally,
roster.
we all want to help first responders.
Yeah.
My impression was that this new law is one or the other, tax relief or by assessment. I don't think you get both.
I think that's correct, yeah.
The deduction's $400 on the taxes. So it's-
Yeah,
So that's pretty much it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we're waiting to get some sales documents from the county. We haven't processed sales since March 1st because we've been so busy with the assessment stuff. And it's really going to be interesting to see what happens with the sales between now and valuation date of July 1st.
for sure.
But if you go to Realtor and look at what's on the market right now, there's some crazy stuff on the market for a lot of money. So those sales will be really interesting to see how those shake out. And, because people are convinced that property isn't selling for what it was, but we don't have any
Right.
definitive proof of that yet. So hopefully we will by July 1st. And hopefully it goes the other way.
Deb, you're invited as Todd's replacement anytime you want to. Yeah?
She smiles at me.
Yeah. Good deal.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Somebody thought.
You're welcome for the heads up.
Somebody thought.
Hello?
How you doing, Derek?
Allergies.
We thought maybe when you left the screen, you were taking a day off.
No, I was multitasking,
Yeah, all
like,
right.
okay, where are they? Oh, Kenny's still talking, okay, I've got time, so. I was prepared to talk about the permitting software that Britt had sent the letter about.
Yeah.
Did you guys have questions about that, or what else can I add to?
I'm gonna go grab it so I can read it.
Yeah, she had talked about, with our original system that we've had since 2008. When I started in 2009, I learned on that system as well. So I feel like both she and I were very on the same page about its limitations and just capabilities of what it does for us and what we wish it did. So the one thing that she didn't add, right now, we are limited to 4 users only. the new software, we would not be limited. We could have more people and, so
Same
desire.
company upgrade?
So
Or
the
no?
same company that we have now does not have any upgrades planned for their software. We have not had an upgrade
This
since.
is BAS you're talking
Yeah.
about, right? Yeah, they're owned by Edmunds GovTech. And
Okay.
Edmunds GovTech also owns my accounting Logics. They're trying to shift everybody to their more expensive platforms. So that's
Yeah.
probably why they're not planning enough.
Exactly. Makes sense.
Yeah, are the licenses per individual, or are they just open licenses?
I'm not I think no, it would be for us. So the four of us now, I know when Terry left and David started, we had to deactivate Terry's license and transfer it to David. So it is specific for the four of us.
Okay.
It's web-based or you have to install on a computer?
It's only installed on the computer. This new proposal would be cloud-based.
Okay.
So,
We'd have another computer freed up.
exactly.
Because they have a computer in their office that is set up only for that BAS program to sit on so that they could access it.
And Britt does say that in her full write-up here, if something were to happen with this other computer in the office, right, we would not be able to issue permits or do anything with our existing system.
How much downtime would there be to change?
So that would be a question, we're going to, if we kind of get all right, the board is in favor of this, leaning that way, we'd like to do another demo and then we could ask that kind of specific. But yeah, Brett asked preliminarily and they said, it can be done. And we can transfer all of the existing information into this new program. So I don't think there'd be really downtime per se. What our existing system does, which we could almost do on an Excel sheet, is basically a numbering of permits, of case files per review board and ZBA. That's not a great thing. We aren't using their forms because they're atrocious. They just don't really work for us. Mike and I do not use it for the inspections because it's clumsy and doesn't work that way.
Network backup or
Their
anything like
support
that?
fee their annual support fee is something like $2,500 a year.
Yeah, what does Britt say? Oh, yeah, that's what it is, $2,500 a year, and for access to the IT department, which she said is horrible for her. I know she and David both have had a lot of problems with that. The other thing would be in the field. I know we tried to use our existing program, we got tablets, it just did not work at all. So we use our phones, iPhones, we can attach pictures and information that way. So we're definitely pushing for it. We are definitely running out of paper space in our offices and, right, we have files at the airport and
Well,
files.
listen, not only does your office carry itself, it subsidizes others.
Yeah.
So we
So-
understand the importance of
Yeah.
$20,000.
Yes. And I know Britt has done a lot of work researching other cloud-based programs. We often get calls, just cold calls like, hey, we have this program, and everything is comparable price-wise. So this wasn't a shock, it's just a shock based to what we have now. So,
I'm appreciative of the homework and thoroughness that you guys do
okay.
to come up with this, so.
So if you,
You got a timeline? Like, is there a time of year when this makes sense
oh,
for the changeover?
Britt's hoping this week.
Tomorrow?
Exactly. So, for sure, right, always the beginning of, the end of the year, the beginning of it. She really is pushing, and David too. They're both saying like, man, if we could have this ASAP, let's get it
Then you
transferred and.
You should turn 90 degrees and look
Yeah.
for it.
Hey, you guys are the ones that have to do the budget amendment, not me.
Yeah.
Darcy, my other question is, if there's no existing software company that combines short-term rental permits and building permits?
I'll
I mean-
ask Brett.
Wouldn't that be so much easier?
You're right. Oh, another point of this, right? So for now, people who, we get asked all the time, can we pay with credit card? And we don't have that capability now. If we went to this kind of program, we would have that, and it would be that same short-term rental. They use the same program,
So
so,
that bridges one gap, but I understand what you're saying.
yeah,
Why have
Would it be worth
cloud-based
30,000?
permitting systems?
I will ask her that. I wasn't in on that question. Maybe she asked it. I'm not sure, but we can find out.
Okay, so it might take us 2 days to get the money.
Yeah, okay. Was there anything else in here that she had? I thought there were some really good points that she brought up, and
What about training on it, or is,
so Brett and David have done 2 demos, and they both, oh, I know the other thing is, if someone is wanting to apply online, there's sort of a built-in checklist, if you will. Hey, you need this, and it's not someone walking into the office piecemealing, like, oh, hey, I'm giving this to you, I'm giving this to you. And, 4 weeks passes, it's all together in one spot. So that would be really good for us too.
So someone could apply for a building permit online?
Yes,
Submit the documentation.
yes. Which we have long gotten questioned about. I mean, we just recently, thanks to Britt, had gotten our online forms with the new website fillable, so people can at least submit it that way. This would take that even a step further. So.
you're hitting all the right
I know,
buttons here.
right? We feel like it's moving us forward, and so.
Except for it does just seem like if you're, because I know that the BAS system too, it's like tied back to tax parcels or whatever.
Right.
And then it's updated through the county or whatever. If you just had all the information about all parcels in one cloud-based system,
So that's what this can do.
except for not short-term rental permit.
Yeah, I will find that out about STRs. But I think whoever was here prior to 2011, so I know Dean Dietrich had sort of the wish list of, we have some kind of program that if we want, someone calls up, hey, what's the zoning? We would be able to go onto a computer, click on this parcel, and it would provide all this information, what zoning district, what the setbacks are, everything. This system would do that.
Perfect.
So that's been talked about for a long time.
Wait, but to the public as well, or just the users? Just the licenses?
I don't know how.
Oh, both sides you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the public, I'll ask that as well.
You were thinking it was the public.
Would
Yes,
you
exactly.
want that to be accessible?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would be fantastic,
You would cut down on.
right?
Right.
I mean, we get all kinds of calls about.
Yeah, then you would free up,
You can
Yeah.
answer your own question.
right?
Right. So I will find out about that one too.
Computer-based program, they have to have access to programs.
Which there might be, right, a
Well, because like
public,
the county, you know, it's like
Yeah.
click here for public access,
Right.
click here for paid access.
right, could we,
And then you
could
have
this
to
have
click the
that?
same goddamn button every time. Like, you just asked
I
me the
know,
same question.
Don't worry, AI will take care of that in 5 years, and we're gonna be buying one machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we know about submitting and paying online for the public. I'm just not sure about the other, but we'll find out. Any other thoughts on it, or?
No, I was gonna ask something else,
Okay,
but I'll stop unless anyone had it.
yeah,
I don't know.
okay. We'll find out and get back to you with those things.
My question was just about the Bobic in the hotel, how close are they?
September was the original date, and I now heard maybe it's more October, November. But they're not too far behind, so.
And Hotel Northwoods, or it has a new name, correct? What is it?
Grand Adirondack
Right.
Hotel.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're fully open.
Yes, except for the rooftop space,
Yeah.
which we gave them some temporary permissions to use for this past weekend for the public and a wedding. And we're waiting on some lights to be installed this week. And I expect that to happen, and then they'll get their final.
So the elevator still does go to the top.
It does.
At one time, Mike was gonna take that button out.
Hmm. So that elevator is also in, well, yeah, there were some workarounds for that.
Yeah,
Based on the fact that we've been hearing so much about this lately, the only thing I will say, like, I know it's Main Street, it's lit, but I'm assuming it's gonna be down.
Yeah, it's under soffit lights.
Okay.
So up there, when you walk out of the elevator area, there is a little roof overhang. They're going to have 3 soffit lights there. And then at the bar area, 3 or 4 soffit lights there.
How late would they be open?
9.
To 9, so.
Yeah.
And then you turn off the lights.
Yes, and then it's locked and everyone's out of there.
very good.
Okay?
Like I
Anything
told you,
else?
you pushed all the right buttons.
Well, we think it'd be great for us, so.
Yep. When it's good
And
for you, it's
for
good
the
for us.
public and for
Right.
everybody.
Thank you,
Okay,
Darcy.
thanks.
Thank you.
Come on up,
Sure
Trace.
is.
Scary.
For
dogs in my office probably peeing all over my carpet.
I actually think he's in my office right now, so I'm peeing on my carpet. We are switching the spring plants out for summer. I could use do you have a guy I could borrow? He's shaking his head now. I've got to find someone to help me move pots. They are way too heavy for us to move on our own. I mean, without getting hurt.
Don't you have a card?
Derek, I don't think you're understanding how much these pots weigh. Like, no joke.
Thousands.
Are these the ones on Main Street?
No, but they might as well be made of concrete. They're the ones that used to get used on the backside of the lake. So we have 2 that go in the park on Newman Road. We have 4 benches that are still our responsibility to put plants next to, so those have to go out.
So they're not out yet, you need help moving them out.
Yeah, currently they're at the greenhouse with plants in them, and I cannot move them by myself.
So then, but a cart can go under them and the right person can get them onto a
No,
trailer?
you need to do it with 2 people.
2 people lifting.
No, not even lifting. 2 people, 1 person manning a cart and 1 person helping maneuver these things. They're
Oh.
huge and they're heavy. I moved all the small ones that I could move by myself. I did it. The ones I could move, Stephanie and I
Don't
together, we
understand
did
it, I'll
it.
come down Friday morning.
That'd be great. 1 to the train station, 4 to St. Agnes School, 2 to St. Agnes Church, 2 to the park, 4 to the benches, 2 to the transfer station.
A dozen?
At least.
That's 15, she just gave.
Oh, and 4 to the high school.
I ran out of fingers and I went.
Well, you still have toes for that, so we're
But you
still
have,
good.
you have the trailer.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean,
Doing it yourself.
Can I ask a stupid question?
You can ask.
Can you use smaller
Can you use
buckets?
a bobcat? Or are they too small to go
No,
on the time?
the forks could go underneath it.
That's what I'm asking.
It's a matter of,
What do you usually use to move them?
A family member and I could do it, but Stephanie and Barrett are not strong enough.
No, I
to help
understand
me.
that, but I mean, what,
So can I bring my mom to work one day? Because if I can, I'll get it done, but.
do you use a 2-hand cart and somebody pushes it? Is that what you guys do?
Yeah, so what you have to do is you have to be able to push the pot up to get a cart underneath it. And then you can't just pull back on those.
I'll be down Friday morning.
So, I mean, I guess the question I had was, would a bobcat make the whole work go faster and easier? And it's
No, I just need one stronger person for 4 hours. That's all I
Not
need.
right now,
4
I'm picking up
hours.
road sand.
I talked to
No, we don't.
You just get one person for 4 hours?
I just did. He said he'd help you.
At $20
No, he said
an
he
hour.
can make that, is not the same.
Quit the job board and become a park district.
Still keep your office.
All right, so I'll be down Friday morning.
Okay.
I don't know if we get it done, but at least I'll know what's ahead of us.
Okay, so Friday morning, depending on what time you're there, I will be on a water route.
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay.
But,
Just wanna check it out.
Okay, well, it's
I'll-
not gonna be helpful if I'm not there because I
No,
can't show you.
but
as-
I'll text you when I get there.
Okay,
And usually I'm by 7:30.
I'll be out on the street by then,
Okay,
but that's fine.
well, good for you. I know how to track you down.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Okay, what else can I tell you? What else do you wanna know from me?
really just an overview, if you would. Everybody understands you have just the town stuff, but what we use Barrett Stephanie with you for are the independent businesses. Give us an idea of like how many they are, some basic revenue numbers, if you would. For instance, if we have,
So it's still coming in.
yeah,
I mean, I picked up 3 checks yesterday. I haven't had time to even
Well,
enter them.
even
You didn't hear that.
even if it's just projected, like for 25 businesses, you brought in $15,000 and we're gonna be paying our 2 seasonal people $13,500.
We know that the costs are gonna cover it, or that the
That's-
revenues are
Revenue's
gonna
gonna
cover
cover
the
the
expenses. That was a question.
That was how we're trying to
That's
put it
the
together.
intent.
That-
Find out when the season's over.
That is the intent, but I will tell you that I am using them to help me set stuff up because the greenhouse was not ready to go when
And those
we
are things that
started.
we couldn't anticipate.
So maybe it's
So-
expensive first year.
It is going to be because I have no compost bin, I have volunteers saying they will come and help. Can I have a volunteer in that space? Like,
Listen,
Do
if
you know
you
what-
can find 50 of them, you can have 50 of them.
okay, I just didn't know, are we insured for that?
Well, you let me know who they are
Yeah,
and we'll make sure they get coverage.
Okay,
And then
that's,
speaking to Derek's point, maybe you and Kathy can get together and sit down and list out the number of businesses that you are contracted for this year and anticipate next year, and then the amount of revenue generated, so that you can start forming a list for the following year and the year.
I mean, it changes, like, we have everybody that we had last year except for one business,
Mhm.
and I've had 3 new businesses ask.
Mhm.
So,
It's
I mean,
it's gonna be fluid for sure,
but most of it stays pretty well the same, but I think as people are seeing that we're still doing it, like the Bluebird Hotel just asked, like, because he knew me from before when he had the house.
Mhm.
So we did that space. He would like us to do the new space, but quite frankly, it is so much, there is so much there that I can't commit us to doing it. We're stretched so thin right
Right.
now.
but you see, in this first year, we get to assess the program as a whole,
Mhm.
and we'll go from there.
And then look at the revenues, and like maybe we can have additional people help, and then we can grow the program, but you have to know what's going on first,
So-
and have something tangible to look at.
So say right now that we're close to 50 businesses and about $48,000. That's close.
And as a board, we're yet to really define, moving down the road, how beautification stays involved. I don't know the end of the story, you know, that
You
they
need the
bought,
private part.
that's right. Like, they're there for support, but they bought 2 brand new sheds, 3 brand new sheds. They're up there, the greenhouse is reset, it's such a, well, you've seen it, Rick. Have you been out there yet? Behind
Come and
Highway
visit.
Garage. It's just a very efficient setup. There isn't room for a whole lot of growth,
I don't, honestly, I
but
think
it's efficient.
the only thing right now that would really make my life better is if we could connect the water inside, like the pipes inside the greenhouse
Yeah.
to something outside, because right now, dragging that hose through every inch and through the greenhouse with all the plants on the floor,
Yeah,
it's really, it's
Yeah.
time intensive, it's time
Yeah.
intensive. I mean, it's taking me at least twice as long to water as it really needs to,
yeah.
which is kind of,
I can still do it with hoses, but I need a better connection so you can use water inside.
yes, I just need something that goes underneath the greenhouse
Yep.
wall that I could hook right there, and then we would be golden.
We'll get there. Yep.
But, I mean, we're in a much better place than we were
Yeah,
last year at this time. The
good,
fact that we have a bathroom is kind of nice.
yeah.
You're laughing. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, my main
The
point
small number
of
of life, right?
having you here is exactly what you've given, is how many businesses, not so much revenue, I know that's going to wax and wane, but, and how you're doing. I mean, you've got 2 part-time employees.
We have two part-time people, but I will tell you, Stephanie is not currently working like she's part-time. She's working like she's a
Right.
full-time person.
Yeah.
I'm kind of scared of what our time sheet's gonna look like.
Well, those are things we have to assess.
This is
there
our
was-
busiest time of year though, like
Yeah.
trying to get everything planted.
And there was unknowns. We had a pump go down in one of the water trucks. So
That
they
was
ran
really
back and
horrible.
forth with only one truck.
That was awful.
And
I called in a favor.
I know that. And I need you to tell me when someone does something like that, you need to tell me if we have to pay for something.
We don't have to pay for them. I owe them a favor
Okay,
and they will collect.
all right.
So someday I'll let you know that I am somewhere else for
But
an
it was
hour.
Memorial Weekend, nobody working, no such thing as a mechanic. And, when a pump goes down,
I am handy with a lot of stuff, but I was not strong enough to take those bolts off of that truck. So I
no,
had to have a guy.
good. I know you have to go.
Is there anything else?
Oh, I just wanted to say thank you to Butch and Sharice, because it was Butch's idea to do the retaining wall out front.
Oh, it looks
looks
so
awesome.
good. It looks
Yeah.
so good. Every time I'm out there, we get compliments on that. And people have actually stopped us further up the street to ask if that was us.
Yeah.
So I think all of the locals that I've talked to are so happy with that.
Now we just need to repaint the front again, because the
I
door
was gonna
is
give
up.
Emily credit, like it was her idea. She didn't,
Well, she wanted to do something, so Terry and I went out and looked.
yeah.
Yeah, I was on the outside.
We just need the brick walkways redone, so that we're not tripping on them.
Isn't that on the list of things to do?
That's a village thing, I guess, I don't know.
So my only question is, I know you worked with MJ and,
Jim?
upstairs village,
Oh,
Jackie. Are you looking?
It happens, it happens.
She's this, like holiday decorations, because I know it's intensive in the village, but there's talk about expanding it out to.
Well, that's what I had done last year, last year was the first year since I started where we actually had stuff in the town and not just in the village. But when the village took them down, they all went to the villages.
Okay, so we gotta be mindful of what we purchase.
Yeah, they were very, they went through and took them all down and they were gone and in village storage before I knew it. Beautification used to pay for all of the hours that we put into helping. It was only the last year that the village reimbursed us for it's something ridiculous, like 100 hours of time that we put into doing that. So what I was told was they were going to handle it for the village stuff. So whatever we do for the town, then
we don't have decorations, is what you're saying.
we have very few that I managed to hide in my shed.
We still have to work with the village for putting them up.
Right.
Yes, you can't, there's no
sure.
way to hang them without assistance.
So we'll go crawling on our knees to them.
You know what, I really think if I said to Kim, I need some help, I think he would help.
Oh,
me.
absolutely. I'm not even concerned with that.
Yeah.
They're great.
Sure,
So we'll be talking about this in October, November again.
But you know what, though, if it's something where we are going to purchase things to do that, yeah, if the order isn't in by July, forget it, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking now, because that's conversation.
Is
with the
that?
village. It was there's such a leeway, it was it's
Yes,
efficient, but
No, we ordered them, I think we ordered them in March and they didn't come until the end of September. We should have already been starting to hang stuff and they were not even here yet. It was awful.
So we need to start making a list.
Do you know?
I
where-
have a list of which poles can take the Christmas decorations if you want me to do that.
Do you have catalogs that you order them from, or like a wish list catalog?
I can tell you the company that the village is using and get pricing
So it
that
makes
way.
sense, wouldn't it make, if we're gonna buy,
We
Get
did
some-
why are you all ignoring me? Hey,
it would make-
right here.
That's why they're ignoring you.
Why do something?
If we're gonna buy Christmas decorations, it would make sense to use the same supplier as the village, they look the
Pretty
same, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it also
I'm
makes
gonna-
sense to use the CTE.
I honestly, I'm going to suggest that you use the competitor of the one the village uses
Oh,
because their customer service,
is better.
no, the customer service that the village uses for that company is absolutely horrendous.
Okay, but Do they look similar? So
They're the same.
They're
You're not
identical.
gonna-
Okay,
you're
yeah,
not
so
gonna-
just get us the information.
And I think I could probably get us a better price going to the
Okay.
competition.
Back to summer quickly.
Yes, I'm with you.
Where are you planting in the town? I know we got sort of a brief,
So,
just quickly. if you can.
okay, so the transfer station, the airport, the cemetery, the welcome signs, the service signs,
Service.
the Lions Club, the Rotary, the Legion, Craigwood,
Around the lake.
the 4 benches around the lake,
You said.
the lacrosse fields,
Newman Park.
Did you
right?
say,
Newman Park.
what about the beach house?
No, because I was told that was village and I was not allowed to do that one.
Do you want that done?
There's
The
like-
village, I think that, isn't it on your, it's on your list, isn't
Okay.
it?
I
If-
don't have a list.
So can
I think usually,
I drive a truck and dump water.
I know, but don't they give you a list of where to dump the water? Oh, you,
If you want her to put something at the beach house to make it look nice,
I thought,
that could go 50, we
Buy me
can turn half of that back to the village.
but
because that
not
would make it-
without checking to make sure that they haven't already asked Gerards to do that, because that might be on their summer
Oh,
plan
okay.
list.
But have you noticed it? Have you even looked to see?
They haven't done their summer plans.
They haven't done-
No,
Okay.
there's,
They're still
When-
negotiating when to put out pots and where.
Really?
So,
Wow.
I have one question, and then I have to go get my kid and take him to soccer.
Yeah.
So the village, yeah, T-ball is an hour after soccer. Yeah, you just don't hear. So the 12 pots that we gave to the village,
Right.
2 of those are gone.
Well, they were in Mirror Lake, I know.
Did they find them? Because they didn't end up where they were supposed, like there are 2 missing off the backside of the lake.
Oh,
And one of those is Connie's bench. And that is not sitting real well with us. Can I please take care of that?
do you mean it's a
Somebody
village?
stole?
Somebody, 2 of the pots are gone. We'll just go with they're gone. And
Yeah,
when I last spoke with Brad, they were missing. So
and it's not in Jim's route.
that bench should be in Jim's route, but they're not replacing the pot. So
Have you got 2 pots? to
I
put in?
said to Brad, if you need me to find 2 pots, let me know, but I have not heard from him. Do you want to deal with what? I can't leave Connie's bench without flowers next to it,
Yeah,
one way or another.
go ahead and plant them and then the watering people can decide who, unless you want to check with Jim on it. Like, if we got the stuff planted,
We have the stuff to plant it. I can do that.
is he,
And I
would he be
I
worried
have
about
pots. that
Okay,
can
the
go-
let's
color
do it.
combination or anything?
No idea.
This would
I don't
be
know
a
the
good
guy well
one,
enough.
I doubt it.
I think they're,
You can touch base with
I
him.
think his color comment,
Wait for Butch to touch base with Jim.
about if he's planting it or if I am?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Because I know there's plans for more pots.
Okay, that's perfect.
Which I am not privy to.
Okay, so if you could just let me know if I need to move a pot there, that would be great. Okay.
Good.
Are you regretting that you told people you worked there and you were working?
Well, he would
It's
have
a-
had
It's
to,
a little hard, stand out there watering and not.
you could do a fake mustache.
I get more, what the heck are you doing?
Wait until it rains and you're out there watering and they go, do you know that it's raining? And the shoes are swishing. You just wait, that's my
I
favorite.
already have my shirt that I'll be getting soon that says, "The flowers don't like me to talk to you." Sure.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay, I will see you later.
I'll get you one if it comes out good.
Oh, I like it, thank you.
I think I tell you fish stories this morning. Went fishing last night.
I got something going on here.
The kid just.
Are you like just going through puberty?
I didn't think it was gonna happen ever.
What, laryngitis?
No, I think it's allergies.
Wow.
They hit a nerve and everything. He's reverting back.
Yeah,
I was just starting, like you saw me last week.
Yeah.
I'm like starting to feeling a little normal. That's.
what do you think, brother?
Well, we hashed things out before a little bit, but the employment thing is huge.
Yeah, to update the 2 of you, we can say a name, right? So, well, let's just say a part-time employee is willing to do parks and playgrounds, including village parks and playgrounds. And he's a retiree, he's definitely doing it as a favor. And because he's bored, I'm sure. And so, but I think it could work out, but there are some logistics that we need to work out. And if we ended up finding a full-time permanent, that he's willing to just let us, the city can leave now.
I'm sure you can use him somewhere.
I think he really just wants to, he enjoys mowing lawns and weed whacking, and so I think it's a perfect
I
fit.
can relate.
But he would be doing all village parks, playgrounds, and then adding in beach and. But we have some details to work out.
Yeah. It's like, we don't have an extra truck just hanging around
So we have to use
to
some
move the
vehicle.
stuff around. And, you know, I would assume it would only be a mower and a weed eater and maybe a blower. And that could be stationed at the beach house and then take them from there. But it'd be a matter of, he needs to look around and evaluate each area and say, okay, this is what I can do and what I can't do. This is what I'll need. And he could maybe base out of the beach house and go from there. But that's like I have one guy that worked today. He gave me 8 hours today, he gave me 3 hours tomorrow. At least he's doing that. He was one of our toboggan guys. And
So he's already in Kathy's system.
Yeah,
Good.
but that's it.
But so,
I'm gonna talk to my brother this weekend.
my question for Kathy is that, because I said to Derek, should we have him apply? And we're like, you don't need to apply. We just need
You got
to-
the job.
Who are we talking about?
Gordon Kelly, who is Jackie Kelly's husband, who's retired, and he's willing to come on part-time, seasonal, simply to do village and town playgrounds and parks, weeding and mowing. And
I would like to have an application.
Yeah.
yeah, he can do
Doesn't,
that.
yeah.
Of course.
Other than that, I just need to get the paperwork filled out.
We were just saying he doesn't need an interview.
Now, what would that do to the current person that's mowing?
For the village.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is that it's not enough, so he's only
So
part-time.
it's subsidized?
Yeah.
And he just mows.
Yes.
Correct.
On a
There's
zero
no
turn.
Oh, yeah.
weed whacking.
No.
Or getting off of the
Yeah.
lawn. So, yeah, it just complements that village staff person. So obviously, he's gonna need to communicate with that person so that they're not, well, he'll be able to see it too, but.
Sure.
And then the other question was just that I was asking Butch if we needed, even though there's no financial commitment from the village, do we still need an MOU for the services? And Butch said that.
I would think,
It would be good to have something.
Yeah. just that.
Even if it's a one page,
Yeah.
yeah, just have something simple that says that there's an agreement between the two municipalities.
Because,
I know you.
if he's weed eating and hits a rock and goes through a window.
Yeah.
So do you want me to ask Mindy for
Is this person already working?
that? No, he's retired.
He used to be a fire department. He was a fire driver.
I mean, if she's got something already, a template already set up for something like that.
If not.
And it doesn't, yeah, it's not a big deal.
But let's get him started like tomorrow.
How much are we gonna pay?
$19 an hour.
Between 20 and 20.
Well, no, is that what he wants? He wants
doesn't want
19?
anything. He's
Oh.
like doing this as a favor. Not that he doesn't want anything, but
Right.
I think he will accept whatever
Why, so we should at least give him what we're giving Mark.
Create problems.
Mark's at $17.50 right now, so
What is Wes at
Wes, who's Wes?
for the village?
Oh, I don't know.
No, well, I'm just saying.
I'm sure he's a lot
we have. Village council.
more. See, then that's when we get into this rate thing. You're also gonna get into years of service.
Mhm.
Some of these guys have been coming back to Craigwood for 7, 8 years.
Right.
And, always it was, we got our 25 cent a year raise, and then when all hell started going out, when you couldn't get anybody for what we were paying them, we increased it.
Right.
And that,
The equality now, we're a victim of circumstance. I mean, things have jumped out of whack so fast that it's hard to say to that person that's been here 20 years, I can't be sorrier that this is where the market is in order to get somebody. There's fair and what we have to do to survive. it's a tough,
It's tough. I mean, the staff that Horseshoe brings in is 3/4 of what it should be right now.
yeah,
And they all want more money, all want more money, all want more money.
yeah.
We got announcers that announce that want double what they had last year, and they were making $500 a day.
Well,
I'm a pretty good announcer.
we know. We'll take a recommendation.
Yeah, let's, if you get, I mean, it's a tough thing, but I mean, it showed when we threw that out there that got everybody fired up, nobody applied, so.
Yeah. I mean, seasonal is a benefit, whether they get a little more, I mean, if we throw $18 an hour at them.
We used to get 10 to 15 applicants every year, college kids, but there's none out there. But we got nobody. I got Tammy Casey's boy, he was 15 years old.
Right.
Can't do anything. And he can't run
You
a
gotta,
waiter.
you gotta be with them to show them what to do.
Well, yeah, but they can't run weed eaters.
Right,
They're too
they're too
young.
young. Is it 16 or is it
16.
16? So how do you want to move forward with the new guy for compensation?
I think we do that until the meeting next week, and then
Okay.
if it's 20, if we,
Start at 18, or 17, what'd you say, Mark?
Well, Mark Bowen is in the budget this year for $17.50, which is 50 cents over last year. Or I put every seasonal in for 50 cents more than what they had last
Which
year.
is what we agreed to do last year.
Except for the youth, because that's all different. Because I'm not fighting sure about it. We had to tell him right off the bat, this is it. But yeah, so $17.50.
Okay.
And how are we addressing the fact that we just advertised a job for $20 an hour?
That was
The
seasonal?
intent,
Yeah.
right, but the intent was to try to gather somebody to apply, and if they worked out, to offer them year
Oh, I
round.
thought the ad was for permanent.
That was the
and
intent.
I also think you can say it depended on experience. Well,
Right.
if we didn't think that person was worth that,
Right.
I
So,
mean, if they came in and said, I want to work, but I can't do anything.
so this is the issue I've got.
Women for you, but I'm like.
For
come on.
years. For years, it's been you put in for hiring, you don't put in a rate.
You have to, I think.
Now you have to.
Yes.
You can't say
But just use like a
commensurate with
bigger-
experience, you just put a rate in.
Bigger range.
So we put 18 to 22 or something like that in for the first year round. Nobody, we had 2 applicants, neither one of them.
To seasonal, we bumped it to 20.
But
Yeah.
the 2 applicants that you got, you had to make concessions for other things,
Yeah.
and they still decided not to come to us.
And I think the 20 to 24 showed you it's not about the rate.
It's not about the rate. People just don't know.
Well, the 2 that turned it down, one was, I wouldn't have left the job he had, and the other one got thrown a lot of money in front of him.
Yeah.
That was sort of obvious it was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't have got a raise otherwise.
Right.
And a lot of the
Exactly.
issues with doing the thing on Indeed is that the people who apply are the ones that are on unemployment. And they're just doing it to do the job search so they can stay qualified, So we're not gonna get a lot of good applicants that way either.
This is like, I talked to Penny about this before, but then it's it's a different subject, because I want Ken to go and talk to BOCES, because I think he is like that one wonderful employee from BOCES. So I want Ken to like establish a relationship with BOCES, but maybe for Park District, for more seasonal staff, the colleges have to have like a spring or fall job fair where you say like, stay in Lake Placid for the summer, like don't go home. Like Paul Smith's in North Country, even Plattsburgh, like come to Lake Placid for the summer, and here's where you can work.
We touched base with both and BOCES. BOCES, we were fortunate, there were 2 that we ended up, one working for the village, one working for us at landfill. And both worked kind of for me until they got hired in there. And I had one this summer, but he's going right into the workforce from there. That would have been
Who
outstanding.
came from BOCES, Evan?
Yeah.
Evan?
Oh,
Who did you lose?
JJ.
How much did you lose him for? You said you just lost one?
Yeah, Andrew Levinson, I'm not sure. I'm still hoping he may not he was reaching far. And I don't think I'll lose him if he doesn't have another place to go. But he was looking at mechanicals. He likes to dive into big engines and stuff. But the kid could do anything and figure it out. Yeah. He went to the prom with his boots and hat. He always wears a hat
Don't
with
reach out as far as
sunglasses.
Plattsburgh, because they're gonna open up soon for housing for all those
Migrants.
migrants. You're gonna end up with a lot of people up here you're not gonna want.
Are they working?
You're not gonna want them, trust me.
Speak Espanol.
So, just on, I guess, a positive note, tomorrow's June 1st. We're 27 days away from the horse show, 24 days away from the beach opening.
Yeah.
And beach and summer camp are, staffing wise, are in good shape. It's just a matter of placing them, because they all have vacations and gotta go to grandma's house. But I think we have enough to overlap and cover. Horse show numbers are looking okay right now. We're kind of where we were last year this time, which is better than I thought we would be.
Good.
We're hoping to get a little more. The tents are up, the second tent's going up today. So, and the golf course continues to do well. I think our membership's gonna be over 500 by the end of this week. So we're where we were last year.
So if you had another even part-time person in Park District, could we sneak through? Just
I
maintain
worry
stuff.
about the beach. I mean, I was over there today and a guy could spend 3 days there and get it going and just keeping it up. I mean, I think, and it would help the lifeguards.
Now, is it raking? Is the,
Break in, put signs up, we should have the ropes in the water and ready to go before they get here, and they do it. It's just like the building, I saw some siding falling off the building today. I gotta get Emily's water fountain fixed in there, Rick's water fountain. But on a good note, if we could find it, that would be just so ideal. Just take that out of the equation.
would you like one person just for the beach?
Yeah, and then they could,
But how long during the day do they have to be there? They gotta set things up in the morning, trash, but no bathrooms, because bathrooms are being taken care of, right?
we haven't completed that deal.
Yeah, I mean, so that's another thing with the MOU with the village, we need to figure that out. But
Right
so
now,
far-
that's back on the table.
Yes,
If we would have got Colin, that would have been off the table.
Right,
But right now, that's back on the table. It's Mindy's parents.
yeah.
I
right.
saw them walking around sweeping the sidewalks the other day. And that would be our contract with those two individually?
No, because they are village employees.
Yeah, I want to do a contract with the village, and let the village bill us for whatever.
Yeah.
And then we pay half of it.
Yeah.
Keep saying that to Mindy, like, then we're gonna pay half of it.
Yeah. I mean, right now, I think we gotta look in that direction.
So we have two things to touch base on with the village on then, about MOU if we hire Gordon, and then a contract for hiring, is that even a contract?
It would be an MOU.
I would
For
just do
for both.
Since they're working for them, doing the same thing,
Yeah.
we would just add them on and we would be, I would have the supplies there for them. They would just have to check and tell me I need bleach or I need toilet bowl cleaner or something.
So, but if Gordon, if this works out with Gordon, I think maybe what his, like your communication to him is, your first focus is the beach.
Yeah.
And then that makes the town and the village happy,
Yeah.
if that's his first focus.
Anyway, Terry would take on the beach.
Does he have time?
Terry, I wish, he would be the answer to everything.
I know.
He would answer everything. If I could have him, he would get it
Could we
done.
change the duties of his job and he comes and goes as he needs to?
I think we'd have to talk to him, because even, last night Ward texted me and he goes, because I needed Terry to change a GFI breaker today. And I said, because Ward was helping him bring mulch up here, and I said, well, have him put this GFI in for us. And Ward said, I think he's thinking about us again. So I think if we approach him.
I mean, change his job duties. He has this down to a science. He knows when he's gotta put in extra time. And he knows the schedule of everything.
Yeah, like he can fix that GFI thing today. I mean, why do I bring in an electrician at $50 an hour when I had somebody that I could almost do it?
Yeah.
But I get to the point where I can't. And for the rest of you guys that know, the village bailed us out today on a few plumbing issues that again, we would have had to bring in a plumber that you can't get. Right. So Derek was talking with Art yesterday, and Art had Brad send 2 guys down today to simple things, but
Yeah.
they did it in a day.
Right.
And it's not like they're lined up electricians and plumbers looking for work.
No.
We had to get, the Tupper Lake guys over here to fix the outdoor lights and the thermostat.
And we still have to put 2 new fans in the Saranac Lake Townhouse, but that can't happen until next fall. Well, that's another whole mess.
So let's check with Gordon.
What is the thing with Terry that you can't, like, it's just that he's so overwhelmed right now for
I
it?
don't think he's overwhelmed. He always gets called when somebody else can't do something, so he bails them out all the time. And
Okay.
I think he doesn't mind that, but he also
Doesn't want to be taken advantage.
doesn't want to be taken
Oh, I
advantage of or used, where if he was in that position, we would say, this is your job.
And he would be that foreman.
Yeah.
So, I'm just thinking out of the box here. Why wouldn't you want to put him in that job and have the person who's working on cleaning
He told us.
there, clean here too?
Back when we were looking for this permanent position, he basically said to us, well, I would have done it. But then he said he didn't want to.
Yeah.
He's
It was
not
very
sure
weird.
words.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it would turn his job into a job and a half. I say that only,
Take this off his plate, this building.
I'm gonna tell you what, replacing him in this building is gonna be,
Well, if you find the right person
Right.
that can do cleaning
but he
specifically,
doesn't want to be outside all the
he
time.
doesn't want
That's
to be.
the other
Okay,
thing.
well, all right.
Like in the winter, when Zach and Ward are in trucks plowing and stuff, Terry will run around and do the shoveling and stuff,
Mhm.
and then be done for the day, where the other guys are pushing snow all day long.
Yeah.
Maybe we
It's just a
should
thought.
try to sit down a little bit.
Do you want to talk about beach parks? Or you just,
Well, Emily and Jackie met with me after a discussion with the Department of Health, and the Department of Health is denying the fact that she incurred that we should have the fence up. She's saying, I never told them that.
What?
Yeah.
It's good news, though. Good news, okay?
But she said, I didn't tell you to put it up. Like, no, but when we put it up, you stayed away from us.
Yeah.
So she didn't want us to go either way, but, so what we're gonna do is leave the fence up as it is until the beach opens, and police are gonna try to patrol it after that.
Yeah, so there will be no fence, fingers crossed, until maybe Departmental changes their mind and tries to fine us. But the village, which they brought up at workshop, and I haven't talked to Jackie today, the village is going to do, well, with your language, a better sign.
Yeah.
So signage that says it's under 24-hour surveillance, just much more clear, you will be punished. It's kind of like proper language.
Will that be written in drunk too?
Yes, I know. It's like an audio that comes on. Yeah.
Here's some pictures.
Some flashing red lights, stay away.
And then they're supposed to also ask Kimball about better lighting, but also being cognizant of the fact that there's too much lighting everywhere, so what is that? Like, and then also Chuck was in this, Chuck Dobson was in the conversation too, and Chuck, just agreeing to patrol it when they can. And it's all about control after hours. It doesn't matter about when the lifeguards are there. And we'll see how it goes, and we'll see how the Department of Health says, and how the public reacts to it, and hopefully it's safe. But there was one other thing about, you said that June 24th for the beach. How are you doing with doing the level 4 opening?
We're thinking we got a couple.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Confirming that in the next couple of days.
and so it would be 2 weeks before that, or?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Before that, which is the rope at the port.
Yeah.
I sent you a lifeguard.
Did
Chip Samberry's son.
And I don't know if you all were understanding, Emily probably was, about the sidewalk over there. they blacktopped it, then they were gonna paint it white in front of the beach house and put these figures on it, and they put the figures on it, so. I'm not getting good vibes on it, but.
I walked there today, it was all, and then there's like some sort of artwork.
Yeah. It's
Right
kind
in
of
front of
strange.
the stairs.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to watch that, because rats, it gets slippery.
Well, and the street artist is still roaming around, and once they get, oh, there's some artwork here, so
Yeah.
supposedly cameras are going up there,
Yes.
There's gonna be a sign that says there's
but there actually are cameras, I believe.
I don't think they're there yet.
No, not yet.
But that's interesting about the paint, because they were supposed to be using a very specific paint.
With
that-
sand in it.
With sand in it,
Right.
so there was like a grip to it.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
Yeah.
the parents committee happy, that's what we did.
So, very unique.
Yeah.
I sort of liked it, broke up the blacktop.
It's just like.
But I thought blacktop, summertime,
Yeah.
heat.
Because we were, it was gonna be
It's not
cement,
too, though.
right, but that got, Brad had it ordered, it was ready to go in.
Really?
They didn't do cement.
Yeah, great kids.
I don't know, I don't know why they didn't say that, because I wouldn't have been.
It wasn't,
It would look nice.
No, they wouldn't have cared about cement.
that's what Brad said, just came from Jackie and then parents.
I've already told you, I just have things.
Did
We're
we,
gonna delete this recording.
did we come up with any potential dates for this wages policy meeting or no?
Yeah, I could do it tomorrow morning. Friday morning.
You off school again?
What's that?
Are you guys off school tomorrow?
I'm away on half days until next
Okay. I was gonna say.
week. Then I could do next week after 3:30.
Friday, it looked like you were booked, you had like 4 meetings.
You mean like Friday, 2 days from now, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, except for if it was in the afternoon.
So
Before
I'll
3.
send out an email on this meeting for sometime next week.
But we want to try to have more than 2 people there? Like you want to make it an actual,
I can do Monday. I have a doctor's appointment at 9, so I'm assuming I can get back here by 11 or 12.
Monday, in the afternoon,
Mhm.
I'm available. So,
I don't know if I'm invited or
I'll think it over.
but I guess my point was that I think it actually does make sense to have it be a scheduled work session where we discuss it and we like post it so that it's a public. we're not
Yeah, and then go into executive session for
if there's any,
personnel.
yeah, if there's any names
Yeah.
associated with
Yeah,
that.
so why don't we just do that for Tuesday then, executive session? Do we need a preliminary sort of data collection?
Do you think a
Well,
half an
no,
hour, is a half an hour enough?
No. Because you need packet numbers.
You're talking an entire afternoon.
Yeah,
Like, this could be at least 2 hours, probably, maybe longer. You might want to divide it into a couple of
do you want me
sessions.
to go get my day book? and-
Because you also got that union, which is gonna, whatever you
No,
do.
actually not really, because the union has got their own pay scale, and we've already dealt with them, so we can kind of not really.
And I'm
worry about
assuming
that.
that as a seasonal work is not part of it.
Oh, no, he's not. He was hired as a laborer, which is not a union position. See how we work that out? That way too, if Kenny wanted to ask him to do something, or if anybody else needed to borrow him, he wouldn't be working out of.
Do you want to do the day after the meeting, Wednesday afternoon?
Because your Tuesday's pretty good.
I have
Tuesday's your
county
board meeting.
because
Oh wait,
of-
Tuesday's a board meeting. I have.
Yeah. Now I can do Monday afternoon.
Jason, what did you say your schedule was? I'm sorry.
I start by Tuesday on 3:30. I can do, I know that kind of cuts in, so for the sake of timing is.
And when is Dick Fred?
End of next week. Do you want to go, do
Rick, what do you think?
you want to do the week of June 12th?
It just makes me nervous that we're pushing the
2 weeks
discussion
off.
off.
Yeah,
Most of it
yeah.
is.
Because it's
I'll get
a
it laid down.
immediate matter. We had somebody come to us now and say, hey, I'll work for 20 bucks an hour, and we don't take them.
Then we're kind of back to Friday afternoon. But you get done at 12:30 or you have the one that starts at 12:30?
I think I was waiting for everyone to complete their doodle poll. But I think,
Tomorrow I'm booked all day.
And I'm out of town Friday, but that's, what's Monday afternoon? Are you?
yeah, I think Monday afternoon
You're
can work, it's just that Jason can.
Yeah, he can.
And on Monday.
Oh,
On Monday
I missed that
afternoon.
part. Okay, so Monday afternoon, we just have to wait for Derek to get back from the county.
No, I don't have a county.
That's on
I have
Tuesday.
Adirondack Association of Towns, which is done like at 1, or I'll leave at 1.
Where is
Oh,
it?
shit, I have that too.
High Peaks. Weren't you going this year?
Yeah. Was I supposed to fill out something? Okay.
I'll give you
So if we did a 2 or a 2:30, would that, or are you guys gonna be like brain dead?
No, I think,
No.
let's do 1:30.
That gives them a reason to leave.
Reason to leave, I guess. 1:30 on
You
Monday.
okay with that?
I'll be there.
All right.
And then if you, can you ask Lori or Adrian to actually post it? Or are we just, you can post it as executive session, but it still should be posted.
Yeah. Should
Because
be.
there's gonna be 3 of us.
Yeah. Executive session on personnel.
Lori's right there.
Okay, so Wakely's policy meeting, Lori, post.
So, but that's June 5th, right?
Yep. Good.
Just one last comment. I know we're all getting attacked about the black flies, but the post that went up from Jackie Kelly and somebody else with John's comments, I think, has backed off a lot of people.
Oh, and listen, they're already diminished.
Yeah.
This first hatch is almost died
And
out.
John was out cruising the horse show grounds Monday and seeing how things were. Tuesday,
Yeah.
and went out the golf course and they're there. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody's gonna die.
But they aren't brutal like they were a few
Yeah.
days before that.
This is like, it hasn't been this bad since decades.
Right.
It's a village.
2014. Yes, John, because I remembered it.
Yeah.
And I said, I couldn't remember exactly what year it was. He said 2014.
You call up to.
What if it's like a six?
So do you remember
You
those?
know, like cicadas come out every 7 years or whatever.
Boy. All right. good.
Okay.
Thanks, buddy.
I'll see you early. We'll go over,
wow.
no, you won't see me tomorrow. Well, for golf.
Did Mike ever say anything about the building? Moving the building?
This is my daughter's
Okay, he's
house
gonna
from
do the
yesterday in our
basement.
backyard.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they're doing the
Oh,
basement.
that's what those are. Those are, that's
He's
right.
gonna.
I have black flies in my house too, I guess.
Well, normally you would not even see it that black fly.
4:15.
Or in the
Yeah.
downstairs.
Good.
Rather than.
Hey, gang, see ya. Have a good night.
Thanks, Coach.
All I'm gonna say is, I'm sorry that I was out last week. I could not help it.
Can't pick when you can't walk.
Oh, it was
I know the
awful.
feeling.
Yeah.
Oh. So I have a lot of catching up to do because I only just started catching up from being off on my vacation. And then I had the back stuff. So I'm still working on getting
Kathy, I
everything.
told you this morning, if you're not healthy, we're not healthy, so.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So I don't have a lot of information for you. Obviously, there's the discussion about the wages, which was what I was gonna focus on, but we'll do that on Monday. We had a discussion, Emily came to me about a week and a half-ish ago. Remember we were talking about you said the 4 10-hour days?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And then Derek sent that text about
yeah.
something about scheduling, figuring out something. I talked to Rose, and our thought was maybe, because I do have my remote access from home wasn't working for a while.
Right.
Twin State finally got me back on this morning. And since I have to do my allergy shots on Thursdays, maybe I could work from home on Thursdays. I can take Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, when I get paperwork that I can take home with me
Yeah,
to do at home.
so you're organized.
So I have
You
stuff-
know what you'd have to tackle.
Because there are some days where it's great to be on my own and not have to do, like when we're reviewing policies. I have to
Right.
write up new policies and things like that and work on just data entry. I can do that in the privacy of my house remotely. And Rose is okay with that. There might be 1 or 2 days where it won't work out because
Right.
she has an appointment or whatever, or I have an appointment and I might switch the day. But
Yeah.
if you're okay with trying that, then I'd like to try that.
So, and you're calling it 410s?
I don't think so.
You
I
said
don't really want to do 410s because
No.
that's a long day for
You
me
would
when I have
still
to
do 5
drive.
days, but just one day would be home.
Right.
Yeah,
Because-
that's what I prefer. No
Right.
burnout.
Yeah, because otherwise it's like a 12-hour day when you add in the driving.
Yeah.
And during the summer, nobody wants to work
And you're not working from home, working remote.
remotely. Is that what they call it? Working remote?
Yes, it's much more acceptable.
Okay. Well, just so you know, my remote location is in my basement, which is
So it is remote.
definitely cooler than my office, which by the way, now has no working windows. They're all broken.
They are.
The last one broke the week before I got
You
one.
can open them up anyway.
Do you,
Oh, yeah, I've got weights up there. Well, they have screens, so they're
do you
sufficient.
need braces so they stay open?
I was thinking about asking Terry to get me some pieces of wood to jacket my windows with, but
Well,
I don't wanna bug 'em.
I'll frame you something at home.
it just has to be a 2x4 cut to about yay high. So I can stick it in the window.
Okay.
I'm using my dumbbells right now. Anyway, so, yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything for you guys right
No,
now. I'm sorry.
No, don't be. We're happy to have you
The
back.
doctor gave me a lift to put in my shoe.
Yeah.
That helps. So that's kind of neat. No good drugs though.
What happened to your back?
I have apparently the beginnings of degenerative disc disease. And yeah, so I'm just getting old.
That person going
I
right
know,
now.
right? So,
And you
You guys-
just touch on like David, you've been pushing David for that IT assessment.
yeah,
He just responded.
did he send you one? Cause I got one this morning.
It was at 1 o'clock, I think, you said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, that's someone's, yeah, that might be all right. Cause, we had I came to you with the Usherwood IT thing. This was like 2 months ago. And we said, well, let's check out and see if David can do it for us for less money, and he's local, but it's just like everybody else, he's so overworked, doesn't have the time. So I just been, every so often when I think about it, I send the email saying, what's going on? And he said, maybe he'll be able to get to it.
Next
So-
week. So maybe we should just have a cutoff date and say,
Yeah.
we're gonna work and then we're going.
Because I continue to get the emails from Usherwood.
Yeah.
Have you done your IT assessment? Have you done your IT assessment? Have you, I mean, there's something to be said for having the bigger corporations. They've got more of the staff that they can, so I figure we'll give David one more shot and then we
I
can
can
figure it out from
give
there.
him an ultimatum.
Okay.
Because he also hasn't contacted us about doing the Saranac Lake meeting room.
Or update more on the cameras that we said yes to.
So I don't know how much
Yeah.
work he's got, but it seems like he's always busy because he's not.
He's gonna have to pick. We're either on the list or we're not.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Yeah.
And I did the same thing with I had Twin State, because I mentioned to you, I've been having issues with Twin State.
Yeah.
They're getting better, but I have, they have a ticket system, they call it. You send them an email, support@twinstate.com, and you tell them what your issue is, and then they get back to you. They'll either say, okay, we have you in our queue, somebody will be contacting you. And I had this transfer station credit card program company. They require you to do what they call PCI compliance. Basically, it's just saying that your network is secure, so when people pay with their credit card and it's going over the internet, that somebody's not going to steal your information and get your identity. And we're not compliant with them. And I've been working on it, and I finally, 4 months ago, sent an email, because I had tried doing it myself through the credit card company's platform, and I can't get it to go. So I said, well, Twin State, can you help me with this? And they started a ticket, and the guy who was there said, okay, this is what we have to do, and he was really good. And then I didn't hear from him for a week and a half. So I sent an email, I'm like, what's going on? No response. So I sent an email, no response. And I'm like,
Doesn't work there.
doesn't work there anymore. I called up Julie, who's one of the owners, and I said, what's going on? I said, so-and-so is, it's like, oh, he's not with us anymore. I'm like, yeah, I kind of figured, so can you get somebody else on this for me, right? And so a month later, I get an email after I said, what's going on? They said, your ticket's been closed. I'm like, it's not done. Open it back up, what's going on? And he sent me an email last week when I was out saying, this is what we found. You need to go back to your credit card platform and say, this is what was found, and have them run the scan again. So that's where we're at. Julie called me today. She said, just wanted to check and make sure that you're okay with all your tickets. I'm like, yeah, everything's addressed right now.
Where
But
are we at with audit?
so the auditors gave me a list of stuff. My back went out when they were here, of all things,
But
right?
it worked out good. You gave them plenty of stuff to work on.
Oh, I just feel so bad though, that I couldn't be here when they were here.
I took
Because
care of them one day out at Craig.
Yeah, and then Rose was able to help them out with a lot of stuff that they asked for that, she gave them a lot of stuff, but there were some things she just didn't know where I kept stuff, because we don't do exactly the same thing
Sure.
up there. So I have been working yesterday and today, I've been working on getting them all that information. So I have a list, I'm about halfway through right now, of gathering agreements, giving them support for different accounts that they're looking for.
Okay.
They've already found a couple things where I I put revenue on one line instead of the other line where it belonged. I mean, it's all still there, it's just not in the right place.
Yeah.
So they got the court documents to do that. I think we're pretty good. Probably today's Wednesday, Thursday, probably by the end of Friday, they'll have everything that they've asked until they go through what I give them and they maybe come back with some more questions.
Okay,
So I think we'll be all right with them.
good.
Did any of you guys do I sent the email out, it was something party. Related party? No,
I've never missed a
it
party.
was an email.
It was like an invite to a party?
No, it was a questionnaire.
Oh, like the auditors?
Yeah, they sent, and it's like, I think, actually, I think you were the only one who sent it back and you only answered one question.
Wow, it's-
But they haven't said anything to me about it.
I had to answer three questions from them. They came to my office. Do I suspect anybody of fraud? I said, I suspect everybody of fraud.
They're like, who?
Don't prove it otherwise.
I said, as far as misuse of funds, we only have one credit card and it can only be used on non-ethanol gas.
Actually, that's not true.
Where else do we have credit cards?
I've got a credit card
You
in
do?
town, yeah.
Huh.
Through MBT
You
Bank.
never bought me anything.
Oh. Fox watching that.
But it's actually the same card that it's the same account that we gave the extra card
Yeah.
for the boat gas.
Right.
Yeah, it's the same one. Looking to see, it was something about, I can't, my mind is fried. I can't
That's all
remember
right.
the name. It was related parties, something like that.
Oh, like conflict of interest?
Conflict of interest, yeah. Do you do business? Do you know anybody that does the town do business with, I don't know,
Yeah.
Merrill Thomas or whatever? I don't know.
Answer it. Is it too late?
All right, you guys.
No, it's not too late. If you could answer it and then send it back to me, then I'll send it to them and that'll be one of
Do
the
you
things
see
they'll
it?
book me for.
Yeah.
What date?
May 12th.
Oh, I was.
That's why I couldn't remember it a freaking long time ago.
And it was from Kathy?
And I'm pretty sure I sent it to the town board,
Yeah.
everybody, right?
Jared.
Okay.
I was in Florida, so I didn't answer it.
Oh, so speaking of, I have, addressing my health and being out of town, I have an eye appointment later this month. So that, I think, is the last piece I have to do this year. July the weekend of July 1st, July 4th weekend, I have a family wedding to go to.
Oh, you already told me that, you gave me a sheet. on that.
Okay, July 15th is our family pig roast in Western New York. I'm probably gonna take that Monday and Friday off
These
that
sound like
weekend.
personal problems.
I'm just saying, just so you know.
You know, the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and my husband's gonna probably put in for his second shoulder surgery for the end of this year.
All I think of is Charlie Brown cartoon.
Oh my God,
Black
right?
cloud over there.
Oh my
No
gosh.
matter what happens, that black cloud is over.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah,
I don't have anything,
All right.
obviously.
Okay.
then we're gonna end this work session. I'm gonna call for an executive session, so I need a motion to go into executive session for personnel. I don't anticipate any decisions being made, so we don't need to open things up again. If we do make a decision, then I will open the meeting back up and we'll make it known.
All right, that's all right.
Before you leave, Fred, have you got anything you need to ask us? No? How about caller 2? Any questions? All right, seeing how there's no questions, thank you very much.
Did you want to do this $50,000 with permission to go to 45K?
I was hoping
Or
you'd
you
do
wanna
it
do
under
it for-
committee,
At a meeting, okay.
yeah,
Good, got it.
it just saves me